so that we will not meet the obstacle of ill health while serving Krishna. 750619, letter to Dr. W.D. Courier, written from Honolulu. Srila Prabhupada to Jadur Rani Mataji, health is number one, chanting is number two, service is number three. Selected quotes on devotee care. As one cultivates a seed by pouring water to fructify it, the seed of devotional service sown in the heart of the devotee may be cultured by pouring water in the form of hearing and chanting of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord. Srimad-Bhagavatam 3.2.6 purport. The process is simple. Follow the regulative principles of devotional life undeviatingly. Regularly chant 16 rounds of beads daily and without fail. Read all our literature, attend classes and artis, and go for street sankirtan. If there are any questions, always refer them to your elder god brothers and sisters. So our method is not so difficult, rather it is joyful. So engage yourself enthusiastically in this way and you will be happy and in the end go back to home, back to Godhead. Letter to Sukanda, 4th August 1971. One who is Krishna conscious is a perfect yogi. He is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of the distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God, and the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 6.32. If one has the proper means and wealth, he should occasionally invite the devotees of Lord Chaitanya who are engaged in preaching all over the world and hold a festival at home simply by distributing prasadam and talking about Krishna during the day and holding congregational chanting for at least 3 hours in the evening. This procedure must be adopted in all centers of the Krishna consciousness movement. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 3.203. The Brahmanas, by their learned labor of love, would instruct the administrator kings how to rule the country in complete righteousness, and thus the process would go on as a perfect welfare state. Srimad-Bhagavatam 2.7.9. In Kali Yuga, the duration of life is shortened not so much because of insufficient food, but because of irregular habits. By keeping regular habits and eating simple food, any man can maintain his health. Overeating, over-sense gratification, over-dependence on another's mercy, and artificial standards of living sap the very vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is shortened. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.10. Should I read the next? Sure, good one. I'll keep reading. If there is no sunlight, all plants will die. That is our experience. And because the sunlight is there, the plant is growing. They are becoming green, they are becoming red, they are becoming flavored. Lecture on Srimad-Bhagavatam 7.8.9, Hawaii, March 21st, 1969. In the glorious days, or before the advent of the age of Kali, the Brahmanas, the cows, the women, the children, and the old men were properly given protection. The protection of the old men gives them a chance to prepare themselves for a better life after death. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.5. Everyone should be very responsible and take charge of his dependents. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.18. Taking the care of children is just as important as doing deity worship. One service is not more than another. These children aren't ordinary children. They are Vaikuntha children. They have been sent by Krishna himself. Letter to Arundhati Basi. Hope this will find you in good health and right Krishna consciousness. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Examples of devotee care from Shastras. Sri Ram and Lakshman comforted the mortally wounded Jatayu at the end of his life. They then performed the last rites for Jatayu with much love and respect. End of life care. Even after the great war at Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthir served and took care of the elderly Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, physical care. Prabhu kahe, Vaishnava seva nama sankirtana, Diyokara shigra pabe Shri Krishna charna. The Lord replied, you should engage yourself in the service of the servants of Krishna and always chant the holy name of Krishna. If you do these two things, you will very soon attain shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the residents of Kulina in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 16.7. Raja kahe amitumara dasera anudasa Bhrityera Bhrityakara emora asa. The king replied, my lord, I am the most obedient servant of your servants. It is my ambition that you will accept me as the servant of your servants. King Prataparudra to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 14.18. Keep your health in good condition and work very hard for Krishna. That is our motto of life. Letter to Raya Rama, March 6, 1969. When we inquire from a friend whether everything is well, we are concerned not only with his personal self, but also with his family, his source of income, and his assistants or servants. All of them must be well, and then a person can be happy. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad-Bhagavatam 6.14.19. The soldiers in this Krishna consciousness movement must always possess physical strength, enthusiasm, and sensual power. To keep themselves fit, they must therefore place themselves in a normal condition of life. What constitutes a normal condition will not be the same for everyone, and therefore there are divisions of Varnashram: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Srimad-Bhagavatam 8.2.30 purport. The Bhaktivedanta Medical Association, the trading name for the Global Healthcare Committee, delivers holistic healthcare to the ISKCON community at large and is committed to the mission of serving devotees from all backgrounds. Our team comprises devotees from across the globe with expert knowledge in all areas of healthcare and well-being, including physical, mental, and spiritual practices, to provide the best up-to-date advice and guidance on a digital platform through articles, video content, and much more. We truly believe and encourage devotees to look after all aspects of their health and well-being by using our comprehensive library created by experts from all disciplines, including cardiology, Ayurveda, yoga, nutrition, and much more. BMA Vision. Our vision is to provide a digital resource that provides the healthcare information from a truly holistic perspective. Here is the breakdown of our top priorities. To build and maintain a comprehensive online resource for the best advice in healthcare and well-being. To organize devotee healthcare professionals worldwide, allowing them to work together. To publish the latest critical health guidelines and recommendations. To be a leading provider and good example to others of holistic healthcare, using technology to inform and educate devotees to actively take care of themselves and consequently improve health outcomes across communities. Devotee Care. The Devotee Care course, DCC, is a recent initiative of the ISKCON Governing Body Commission, GBC, with an aim to embed the culture of care within the devotee communities. The course has been designed with the purpose that those who have come to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and Srila Prabhupada may positively identify themselves with ISKCON as a caring society and thus remain active in Krishna consciousness till the last moment of their lives. Vision of Devotee Care Initiative. Every devotee is spiritually happy and materially well situated, positively identifying with ISKCON as a caring society. Each devotee, A, responsibly looks after his or her diverse needs. B, can easily and successfully seek qualified help within the society. And C, wholeheartedly extends that care to others. Mission of Devotee Care Initiative. We strive 1. Ensure that the Vaishnava virtue of care pervades all aspects of the ISKCON society. 2. Support and provide specific caregiving services that enhance the spiritual, emotional, physical, and social well-being of all ISKCON members. Adopted from the Student Handbook of Devotee Care course. 1. Spiritual life. If you take spiritual care, the bodily care is automatically done. Our main business is spiritual care. Srila Prabhupada Morning Walk, Bombay, 03/11/1975. These are the instructions in the Bhagavad Gita. Everything is practical. If we follow Bhagavad Gita from all angles of vision, social, political, economic, religious, cultural, you will be perfect. This is the Bhagavad Gita. We are therefore taken up this mission to preach Bhagavad Gita as it is to solve all the problems of the world. Srila Prabhupada Lecture Bhagavad Gita 2.11, Johannesburg, 17th October 1975. Number 2, healthcare. Rules regarding the self are of two types, those for the body and those for the mind. If a person doesn't follow the mental rules, his power of realization, concentration, imagination, contemplation, and judgment will be weak and will not properly function. Moreover, one will not be able to take the mind from material thoughts and direct it to thoughts of God. As a result, the mind will be dominated by sinful thoughts and an atheistic attitude finally, and will become no better than beast. Therefore, these bodily and mentally rules are very necessary for success in human life. Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, Chapter 2, Part 1. Number 3. Marriage, sex and relationships. In astrology, a man is considered fortunate who has great wealth, very good sons, or a very good wife. Of these three, one who has a very good wife is considered the most fortunate. Srimad-Bhagavatam 3.21.15. In the Chaitanya Shloka, the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, it is said that if a husband and wife are always satisfied with one another, then the goddess of fortune automatically comes. In other words, where there is no disagreement between husband and wife, all material opulence is present and good children are born. Srimad-Bhagavatam 4.1.6 purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, sex life which is not against religious principles is Krishna himself. Srimad-Bhagavatam 4.22.53 purport. Number 4. Child rearing and child care. Taking care of the children is just as important as doing deity worship. One service is not more important than another. Srila Prabhupada letter to Arundhati Devi Dasi. Number 5. Education. Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. In eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the executive heads of all states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture and division. Bhagavad Gita 4.1 purport. Number 6. Career and employment. The king has to see that everyone is employed, not that hundreds of people are unemployed, and government has to give welfare subsidy. Not like that. The king's duty is that everyone is independently earning his livelihood. Srila Prabhupada Lecture, Los Angeles, 27th May 1972, Srimad-Bhagavatam 7.5.22 through 34. Number 7. Financial advice. There are two things that nullify all good qualities. One is poverty, Daridra doso guna rashi nashi. If one is poverty stricken, all his good qualities become null and void. Srimad-Bhagavatam 4.21.20. Vasudeva Datta spent money very liberally. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Shivananda Sena to become his Sarakhela or secretary in order to control his extravagant expenses. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 10.41. Number 8. Housing. It is said that there was a king. He was giving shelter to all the Brahmanas. He had a guest house, so any Brahman can stay there. Pay attention to the state of the kingdom. Old and ramshackle surroundings are a sign of disregard. Renovate to win good opinion. Bhishma Deva. Shivananda Sena arranged for the journey. He maintained everyone and provided residential quarters. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 1.16. The whole city was full of residential homes, assembly houses and temples, all of different architectural beauty. All of this made Dwarka a glowing city. The big avenues, crossings, lanes and streets, and also the three shoals, and also the whole city was full of residential homes, assembly homes and temples, all of different architectural beauty. All of this made Dwarka a glowing city. The big avenues, crossings, lanes and streets, and also the thresholds of every residential house were very clean. Srimad-Bhagavatam 10.69.1 through 6 purport. Number 9. Travel and immigration. Every year, 1 month before Chaturmasya, 4-month period of the rainy season, Shivananda Sena would lead a party of 200 devotees from Bengal to Jagannath Puri to attend the annual Rath Yatra festival. He would pay for everyone's food, tolls, ferries and lodging. The Gaudiya Vaishnava Samadhis in Vrindavan by Mahanidhi Swami. Number 10. Consumer and lifestyle. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system Bhagavad Gita 6.17. He sent his servant to buy a pair of sandals. When the new sandals were presented to Srila Prabhupada, he accepted them graciously but later told me, I cannot wear these. They are made of leather. Shruta Kirti Das in Srila Prabhupada Uvacha, number 126. Number 11. Legal and civic. In Bombay, Prabhupada had cultivated more lawyers and businessmen as life members and earned more friends of his society than in any other city in India. So whenever he was in Bombay, he often sought legal advice, not just about the Bombay Center, but also about his other affairs in India. Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita, Volume 5, page 44. Number 12. Meditation advice. People should not expect that even in the Krishna conscious society, there will be utopia. Because devotees are persons, therefore there will always be some lacking. But the difference is that they have given up everything to serve Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada letter to Atriya Rishi, Bombay, 4th February 1972. Whatever you do it by joint consultation. Of course, as individuals, we have sometimes disagreements, but that should be adjusted, keeping our central attention to Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada letter to Dayala Nitai, Hawaii, 23rd March 1969. Devotee care, advantages of the Bhakti Vriksha approach. Why should you start a Bhakti Vriksha program? Here we explore some of the benefits. Efficient in devotee care and training. Immediately a person cannot be renounced. Therefore, gradually, step by step. So unless there is proper training, now just like we are selling millions copies of these books, they are reading, and how many of them coming forward? So it requires training. Training is essential to make them Krishna conscious. Darshana, Bombay, 14th August 1976. In our ISKCON temples, we do not have enough manpower to take care of the systematic training of each devotee of the congregation. Therefore, the more advanced congregational members can be delegated some aspect of training. Srila Prabhupada recommended this approach to education. That is the way of Indian teaching. That there is one teacher and how he is managing hundreds. That means there are groups. One who is elderly student, he is taking some beginners. write a or a like this, that he can teach. What he has learned, he can teach. Similarly, next group, next group. So in this way, one teacher can manage hundreds of students of different categories. This is organization. Conversation in Paris, 31st July 1976. The Bhakti Vriksha program focuses on training. New members go through home study courses and seminars that cover the basics of the philosophy and practice of Krishna consciousness. And there is special emphasis on learning to preach by going out to visit people with more expert devotees. Promotes Satsanga. All the scriptures stress the need to associate with saintly people. In his purport to Bhagavad Gita 7.30, sorry,
उसके फोन में दर्द है
जी मुझे पता है कि मैं करा दूंगा और कुछ है तो पूछ कर बताऊँ जी जी मैं वो बोले मैं बोल दिया हूँ 9:30 को फ्लाइट आएगा और इसी के लिए जी
promotes Satsanga. All the scriptures stress the need to associate with saintly people. In his purport to Bhagavad Gita 7.30, Srila Prabhupada has written, the beginning of Krishna consciousness is association of persons who are Krishna conscious. Such association is spiritual and puts one directly in touch with the Supreme Lord. And by His grace, one can understand Lord Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One may think, well, that really only applies to associating with pure devotees. In at least one lecture, Srila Prabhupada defined Satsanga. Satsanga means association with good persons who are engaged, if not certain percent, at least engaged a certain portion of his life for spiritual realization. In New York, 28th March 1966. We should not think that only very advanced devotees can provide association and spiritual guidance. Every devotee, whether living in a temple or not, can and should help others to make advancement. One may remain a householder, a medical practitioner, an engineer, or whatever. It does not matter. One only has to follow the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and instruct relatives and friends in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 7.130 purport. The Bhakti Vriksha program is an ideal formula to systematically provide good ongoing association. Focuses upon the individual. Newcomers generally need a lot of encouragement and support to come to the point of being a dedicated servant of Lord Krishna. The Bhakti Vriksha groups are ideal for providing individual attention to new people as well as old. It is caring for the spiritual life of each individual of the congregation, the responsibility of only a few busy temple devotees. Sorry, I made a mistake. Is caring for the spiritual life of each individual of the congregation the responsibility of only a few busy temple devotees. Someone who visits an ISKCON temple might sometimes simply become lost in the crowd without receiving the personal care that he needs. The temple residents may not have time to speak with temple guests or to engage them, what to speak of more distant contacts. In the Bhakti Vriksha program, the focus is on the individual, which is one reason why the groups are kept small, so that each member can receive the personal attention he needs. Every new member is given a personal guide for association and encouragement, and the servant leader monitors the progress of each member, helping in case of difficulty. Many religious and also irreligious organizations successfully proselytize by giving maximum care and attention to those who show even a slight interest in their message. Economical. To establish and maintain a temple requires much money. If we divide the temple budget by the number of people who seriously practice Krishna consciousness in that area, say whoever chants 16 rounds, we will see that to bring someone to Krishna consciousness is quite costly. Devotees spend so much money just to make one fixed up devotee in the temple or in the congregation. Sometimes we face the paradoxical situation whereby, although the city temple has been established to take care of interested people, the resident devotees are always busy simply in collecting money to keep the temple running. So when a visitor wishes to put forward some questions, there is no one available to spend time with the guest. It is a situation similar to a hospital wherein the doctors and nurses are out all day collecting funds for maintaining the hospital facilities. And thus, whenever a patient comes, there is no one to take care of him. So far, your purchasing that building is concerned. If it is a great endeavor, how can you manage? We are not very much for owning buildings. Our real business is to preach and propagate Krishna consciousness widely. But if we spend our whole time simply to earn money to pay for big buildings and decorations, what is the value? I am more interested in preachers than builders and decorators. Letter to Damodara, 6th August 1972. To start and operate a Bhakti Vriksha group costs nothing. The group members are already maintaining themselves and do not cost the temple anything. The groups are self-sufficient and operate on a low budget. The only overhead is the supervision for maintaining full-time Bhakti Vriksha preachers, one out of every 250 to 500 congregational devotees. The Bhakti Vriksha program produces enormous results from small investments. More financial considerations will be discussed in a later chapter. Upward mobility. In our ISKCON temples, the positions of responsibility are generally already taken, and thus it is often difficult for qualified and resourceful congregational devotees to express their full potential. The Bhakti Vriksha program thus provides many opportunities for such devotees to expand their service. For as groups multiply, more and more leaders are needed at every level of the structure, group, sector, circle, etc. A congregational devotee who successfully manages many groups can qualify for higher positions of responsibilities in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada wanted that qualified local congregational devotees be trained to take up positions of responsibility. The letter below refers to Vasudev Prabhu from Fiji, a congregational devotee businessman of Gujarati ancestry who had been initiated that same year. Let Vasudev become president. Let one brother be president and one treasurer, and give one good man who can act as secretary. I have not lost confidence in Vasudev. Now the matter is clear. I am very much pleased with him, so let him remain president, and that will please him more, and his brother treasurer with one secretary. Local men must understand our philosophy. Then it will be very successful. We cannot import men from outside. We sincerely want that local men, either from Vasudeva's family or any family which will take on the work. We have to work on that line. I have no objection if Vasudeva's whole family is trained up to take charge of the temple. Local men should not simply become a visitor, but they should be trained up to take charge of the temple. That is what I want. Letter, 3rd November 1976. A few months later, in May 1977, Srila Prabhupada personally appointed Vasudeva as GBC for Fiji. Not limited by the size of the building. Only a limited number of people can be accommodated in a temple, whether to reside therein or even just to congregate there. A temple in a city of 1 million may have space for, say, 1,000 people. So what about the rest of the people? Bhakti Vriksha groups meet in private homes, and upon growing to 15 members, they divide. Thus the congregation expands without being restricted by the size of a building. When required, larger halls or stadiums can be rented for larger celebrations. and eventually more temples within that same city will be built and maintained by the combined efforts of the local groups. Versatile. Bhakti Vriksha groups can be geared to cater to people with different natures and interests, teenagers, housewives, children, professionals, people of different ethnic backgrounds and languages, and so on, who may find it difficult to become involved in the existing temple programs. The Bhakti Vriksha program offers unlimited opportunities of engagement for different classes of people. We want to show the world that Krishna's service is not stereotyped, one sided. Krishna can be served from any position, provided one is willing to serve him. Krishna can be served and approached by businessmen, by lawyers, by scientists, by artists, by musicians, by philosophers, even by thieves and rogues, everyone. Letter to Garga Muni, 11th November 1969. People of similar tendencies attract each other, as Srila Prabhupada has explained. Birds of a feather flock together. In this world, everyone is attracted by a person of the same category. Srimad-Bhagavatam 4.22.3 purport. Generally, the groups grow by bringing in people of a similar age, interest, mother tongue, or social status, which is natural. Srila Prabhupada wrote, I have just received one letter from the black devotees in Cleveland who wish to start their own ISKCON center independently of the white devotees there. In principle, it is alright. Birds of a feather will flock together. We should not discourage them in any way from opening their own center. But I want you to go there and see how these things are going around and that the standard of Krishna consciousness is being maintained on the highest level. Letter to Satswarupa, 24th August 1972. Another aspect of versatility is that group meetings and activities can be scheduled at the most convenient timings and places for all members to participate. Removes the us and them feeling. Srila Prabhupada wrote, actually there is no difference between devotees living inside the temple and devotees living outside the temple. Letter to Susan Beckman, 20th September 1972. Prejudices, if any, toward congregational devotees quickly evaporate in the Bhakti Vriksha program because it becomes obvious that the members of the groups are seriously engaged in practicing and preaching. If the temple residents do not discriminate against the congregation and see them as devotees and preachers, a beautiful cooperation ensues. Terms such as part-time devotees or friends of Lord Krishna quickly disappear from the vocabulary. Being a devotee is a state of consciousness, not an occupation done part or full-time. A devotee who lives outside the temple is not therefore automatically downgraded to being just a friend of Krishna. Avoids culture shock. In non-Hindu areas, sometimes new temple visitors feel uneasy and out of place in the totally alien atmosphere. New people may feel more comfortable or less intimidated by going to a Bhakti Vriksha group meeting or by visiting or being visited by a congregational devotee. Many who would not go to a Hare Krishna temple can easily agree to visit the home of another normal person for a get-together with other normal people. Generates a sense of belonging. The sense of community is the sense of the individuals belonging to that community. There are primary and secondary affiliations. Secondary are groupings that are formal, utilitarian, and impersonal, such as school classes, business firms, labor unions, etc. Primary affiliations are smaller, more personal, more intimate, and informal, such as one's family. Primary affiliations are usually more important to a person than his secondary associations. Primary affiliations are where people's values are shaped. The Bhakti Vriksha group is a primary affiliation. The powerful camaraderie among the members of a group cannot develop when people gather only in big assemblies. Fosters good relations. Have you ever heard of an ISKCON temple with financial problems? A temple that tries as hard as possible to get donations? Sometimes the congregation feels burdened by insistent collection schemes. But when a temple organizes and guides Bhakti Vriksha groups, the congregation appreciates that the temple cares for the spiritual life and not just for their money. The congregational devotees then no longer feel as if their only dharma is to give financial support. This generates a feeling of gratitude and an atmosphere of cooperation that benefits everyone. Effective and engaging people. How would it be possible for the managers of a temple to coordinate directly from the temple the individual service of hundreds and thousands of congregational devotees? How many people can a mere few temple devotees engage effectively? To organize the congregation into Bhakti Vriksha groups is the best way to effectively engage everyone in practicing and preaching devotional service. The Bhakti Vriksha program allows ISKCON authorities to supervise thousands of active groups through the various levels of the structure. Furthers outreach. Bhakti Vriksha groups allows a deeper outreach into the structures of society. They operate on the cutting edge of the world, in touch with all ethnic, social and economic communities. Group members live and work in all spheres of society. Preachers from the groups can reach people in a more informal way and cultivate them effectively. Often they have access to important people who could not easily be reached by temple devotees. Changing values. The small group setting promotes changes in personal values. Regular contact with devotees inspires one to change personal standards and to accept the principles of Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has written, by association with devotees, dirty things within the heart of a materialistic man are gradually washed away by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As silver becomes shiny by being polished, the heart of a materialistic person is cleansed of lusty desires by the good association of devotees. Srimad-Bhagavatam 4.22.20 purport. In a lecture in a temple, people may hear that one should do this and that, but many may think, well, that is nice, but it does not really apply to me. Dealing with people personally in a small group or one-to-one has a much bigger impact for shaping their lives. In the beginning of life, nobody smokes or nobody becomes intoxicated. It is learned by bad association. Similarly, it can be given up by good association. Lecture of 11th February 1975. Two new groups may be conversing. I am smoking 20 cigarettes a day, says one. How can I be a devotee? The other replies, I used to smoke 40, I still smoke 5, but I am chanting 4 rounds and trying to give it up. It is a gradual process. We should keep trying. There was one lady who had been chanting a number of rounds for 2 years but never decided to become a vegetarian. Then in a Bhakti Vriksha group meeting, she heard that eating meat can cause one to take birth as a meat-eating animal like a tiger or a cat. And so she finally gave up eating meat. There are 3 areas of learning: knowledge, what and why; skills, how to do things; and values, what is good or bad, right or wrong. One acquires knowledge from a teacher in a formal classroom or by studying some textbooks. Such learning situations basically augment only the relation aspects of the mind. One learns new skills primarily through application, repetition, and practice. These methods can teach how to effectively perform an action. One forms values through personal contact and intimate relationships. When a child is asked what he would like to be when he grows up, he may say that he wants to be a doctor. Why? How did he come to this conclusion? He was not formally instructed or drilled into it. Someone must have influenced him, and he absorbed that value through his family, witnessing how the family doctor is esteemed and respected, given special attention when he visits, and so on. Values are more caught than taught, as they are transmitted by association. The Bhakti Vriksha group is the ideal place for achieving that change of heart. Highly accessible. For many people, to go to the nearest ISKCON temple requires a long trip if there is a temple in their area. But Bhakti Vriksha groups can be started everywhere, and in that way it is possible to cover a wide area. Krishna Conscious Association then gradually becomes available next door. Housewives with children, poor people, those who have no car, such persons can attend the weekly meeting in their neighborhood once the groups have spread to every area of that city. Srila Prabhupada wrote, "We want every house to be a temple, not that our place should be the only place for the people to come." Letter to Bhavananda, 14th April 1972. Stability of members. Temples at present tend to be inhabited by devotees moving a lot, brahmacharis and sannyasis, or by relatively young grihastha couples. Householders who belong to Bhakti Vriksha groups are generally established in their social, familial, and economic situations and can offer a solid and reliable reference point for newcomers that they are there. Often it happens that devotees who reside in the temple are either constantly traveling or now getting married and thus going through all the related traumas, or transferring to another temple never to be seen again, or just giving up their preaching due to being overburdened by financial needs or other obstacles. Generates more temple devotees. In the Bhakti Vriksha program, the entire congregation is systematically exposed to preaching and to taking responsibilities in devotional service. Some develop a strong taste and then wish to become full-time preachers. Many will decide to teach Krishna consciousness for the rest of their lives, and the expanded congregation will give them a chance to do that without having to worry about their maintenance. At this point in time, the brahmacharis and the brahmanacharinis living in ISKCON temples often have to move out of the temple as soon as they get married. Often intelligent young people consider joining the temple but hesitate as they cannot see much of a future. A few years of book distribution, then what will they do for the rest of their life? As the congregation expands, the preachers will be able to engage full-time as brahmanas and still maintain their family. Vaishnavas who are engaged in other occupations live at home and maintain the temple so that the brahmanas are free to serve the greater community by providing spiritual support, association and training. Still, every devotee should preach, for that is the order of Lord Chaitanya. When the temple serves a large spiritually developed congregation, temple authorities will be careful about who is representing ISKCON as a spiritual guide. Only the most qualified will be allowed to join the temple to become full-time preachers. Offers engagement to former temple residents. When temple devotees decide to live outside of the ashram, they can consider joining a Bhakti Vriksha group and remaining active in their devotional practice and preaching, thus taking a leading role in the congregation. This is something missing in ISKCON at present. Often temple devotees somehow consider themselves an elite or leading class. When they leave the temple, they feel that they are too good to simply join the congregation and thus remain in a kind of leader's maya. Exponentially self-perpetuating. The Bhakti Vriksha program does not increase by addition but by multiplication. It does not go from 2 groups to 3, from 3 to 4, from 4 to 5, then to 6 and so on. Rather, it goes from 2 to 4 groups, from 4 to 8, from 8 to 16 and so on. Healthy Bhakti Vriksha groups expand in this way. In a group of say 8 devotees, if every member brings in a new person every 6 months, the group can multiply twice in a year. Resists persecution. ISKCON's position is very valuable in places where the government is unfriendly and our preaching is based only on our temple activities. It is all too easy for the government to persecute devotees and stop their activities. But the Bhakti Vriksha program is exceptionally difficult to destroy and can survive the fiercest persecution. Bhakti Vriksha groups can operate in places where official temple activity is prohibited. Bhakti Vriksha preaching continuously goes on in communist and Muslim countries where it is forbidden to openly preach Krishna consciousness. The Bhakti Vriksha groups are comprised of normal citizens who meet in private homes. Using this approach, even in hostile environments, a handful of devotees can create an underground Vaishnava movement.
Any more?
No, Guru Maharaj, should I read again from beginning?
You have a smartphone?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
You have the book there?
This is my father's. Yes, I will get to Veda please. Right from Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
I'm Guru Maharaj going back on the 15th night.
So you come alone or with your family?
I came with my youngest son, Monish.
How old is
He's 8 years old. I'll bring him Guru Maharaj Ji too. I'm planning to go Thursday, Friday, Guru Maharaj Ji. I've booked MVT Vrindavan. Wednesday, Thursday I'm planning to go to Vrindavan. But if you will say my Guru Maharaj, I will definitely stay here. I'll come and meet you every day. So Guru Maharaj, I've opened Veda base. Should I go to Srimad-Bhagavatam?
Devotee care.
Devotee care. Is that a separate website, Dashavtar Prabhu? Devoteecare.com?
Say what's that? You say that again.
Separate website है क्या devotee care का?
They have a site.
They have a separate website. Sorry, I came to Bhakti Veda base. I'll go to. Devoteecare.org, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Should I read what is in the front here?
Yeah.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Devotee Care. The Devotee Care course, DCC, is a recent initiative of the ISKCON Governing Body Commission, GBC, with an aim to embed the culture of care within the devotee communities. The course has been designed with the purpose that those who have come to the lotus feet of Krishna and Srila. The course has been designed with the purpose that those who have come to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and Srila Prabhupada may positively identify themselves with ISKCON as a caring society and thus remain active in Krishna consciousness till the last moment of their lives. Vision of Devotee Care Initiative. Every devotee is spiritually happy and materially well situated, positively identifying with ISKCON as a caring society. Each devotee A responsibly looks after his or her diverse needs. B can easily and successfully seek qualified help within the society, and C wholeheartedly extends that care to others. Mission of Devotee Care Initiative. we strive to 1. Ensure that the Vaishnava virtue of care pervades all aspects of the ISKCON society. 2. Support and provide specific care giving services that enhance the spiritual, emotional, physical, and social well being of all ISKCON members. Sorry, Guru Maharaj, this is the same thing I had read from your papers.
Just give that.
There are journals here, Guru Maharaj. Should I read from those? Devotee DCC Journal 1. Oh, sorry. No, this is not. So the future of this Krishna conscious movement is very bright. So long the managers remain vigilant that 16 rounds are being chanted by everyone without fail, that they are all rising before 4 in the morning, attending Mangal Aarti, our leaders shall be careful not to kill the spirit of enthusiastic service, which is individual and spontaneous and voluntary. They should try always to generate some atmosphere of fresh challenge to the devotees so that they will agree enthusiastically to rise and meet it. That is the art of management, to draw out spontaneous loving spirit of sacrificing some energy for Lord Krishna. But where are so many expert managers? All of us should become expert managers and preachers. We should not be very much after comforts and become complacent or self-contented. There must be always some tapasya. Strictly observing the regulative principles, Krishna consciousness movement must be always a challenge, a great achievement to be gained by voluntary desire to do it, and that will keep it healthy. In one of the GBC strategic planning meetings, Gopal Bhattaprabhu, the chairman, read from Srila Prabhupada's famous letter on management. Dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, on behalf of the GBC Committee for Devotee Care, I am pleased to announce our new publication, the Devotee Care Journal. The journal will be comprised of devotee care articles by different acharyas, lectures of devotees, personal experiences written by devotees of ISKCON, as well as short articles on the subject. It will also occasionally feature outside articles authored by qualified people. We know that cultural values and traditions offer so special strengths that should help devotees with messages from the qualified devotees. Journal services often are more effective when they are provided within the most relevant and meaningful devotional culture, gender sensitive, and age appropriate context for the people being served, and programs need to be built from the local community level. Moreover, the information to be provided cannot be based on a one-size-fits-all approach. Information must be relevant to the specific zones intended to be reached to the local devotees from different parts of the world. The journal serves a unique educational purpose for the devotees of ISKCON to develop devotee care culture. The journal will be held in hard copy format magazine, an online publication that will publish 2 issues annually, 1 issue every 6 months. We hope you find this journal informative and we welcome your comments. If you would like to continue receiving it, or if you would like us to send a copy to someone you know, please write to info@devoteekiskon.com. As always, we look forward to your feedback. If you are interested in how to submit articles, etc., please know that we will be eager to get the articles from you. If you would like to offer comments or suggestions, please feel free to email us at info@devoteecareiskcon.com. On behalf of Srila Prabhupada, we should take care of ourselves, we should take care of our family, we should take care of our community, and we should take care of the entire world. Hare Krishna, your servant, Revati Raman Das, Chairman of Devotee Care Committee. Chairman of Devotee Care Committee. Promoting the culture of caring. Promoting the culture of caring. The Devotee Care Committee, still in its infancy, met during the GBC Strategic Planning meeting held in Mumbai from 15th to 23rd October 2002. Interestingly, the Devotee Care Committee was born of the Preaching Committee. Members of the Preaching Committee reflected that if the devotees are not taken care of, then preaching would not have any lasting effect. They understood that preaching can attract people, but it doesn't retain them. The GBC recognized the need to care for devotees individually and collectively, and thus formulated the Devotee Care Committee. Members of the Devotee Care Committee realized that caring for devotees is a matter of consciousness and culture where every devotee is concerned about the needs of another devotee. In ISKCON, we promote higher understanding of the absolute truth, and if devotees are unhappy, then they would extend a similar spirit to the society at large. Vaishnava culture is a culture of caring, and the Devotee Care Committee strives to create a forum to facilitate the devotees through which they can access help whenever they need it. The committee hopes to connect with devotees requiring assistance in various ways. The committee shall soon host a website which shall include exhaustive information. The committee shall soon host a website which shall include exhaustive information, resource guide, and references of devotees and projects in various parts of the world. Future plans also include a presentation on devotee care during GBC meetings in Mayapur and other international festivals. The committee hopes to collect information and give access to the various resources available to devotees in times of need and crisis. The prime focus of the committee is to instill and implement the idea that every devotee is cared for within the Vaishnava community. Sometimes devotees are insensitive to other devotees, while in some cases devotees don't want to express their concerns for whatever reasons. Either they think, I don't want to complain to anyone, or they feel that nobody is interested in them. There are several examples where devotees feel that they have been not cared of well. For instance, devotees feel that the temple president doesn't take proper care of them. Wives think that their husbands don't take care of them or don't take care for them. Some full-time devotees feel insecure about the future and the practical aspects of dealing with hospitalizations, old age, etc. The committee hopes to address these and many more concerns of the devotees. His Holiness Kavi Chandra Maharaj, member, Devotee Care Committee, informed Lord Chaitanya stressed that Vaishnava Seva is really important. We want to gradually work towards caring for the devotees. When devotees realize that we care for them, then they feel a sense of belonging and can express what they feel and what they need without any hesitation. We want to realize this goal and work on every level possible to make it a reality. We want devotees to know that they are most important to the movement, and this project is exclusively designed to take care of their needs. Strategic planning. Importance of devotee care in ISKCON. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Once, when stressing the importance of caring for the devotees, Srila Prabhupada exclaimed, I'm sorry for my mistakes. Once, when stressing the importance of caring for the devotees, Srila Prabhupada exclaimed, I have shed buckets of blood for each and every devotee. Srila Prabhupada said to the manager of a temple in USA that these devotees have left everything for me. They must be taken care of as sons and daughters for preaching mission. If the devotees are cared for spiritually, emotionally, and physically, should I continue reading this?
सिक्योरिटी एंड ब्लड सिक्योरिटी ना मेरे साथ है और माता को कभी नहीं करेंगे क्या करते हैं आगे जाए ठीक है तो और निकाय पुजारी अभी जाबो तब चलना शुरू है
टीवी खोल के मायापुर टीवी
आप प्रेम आएगा, आप प्रेम से Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare